It's gonna take a while. I have a lot of books and I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the amount that I have, as well as the amount that I need to clean this bookcase and all the little knickknacks on it. I want to minimize the amount of noise that's on there. Basically, I'm doing this because it feels like my books are falling off of my bookcase at this point. I don't really know entirely what I have, and I just feel like I could do a better job of presenting what I love versus the mess that is this. So I want to get rid of some books and pass them on to people that are going to like them a lot more than I currently do. With that being said, if I don't like a book that you absolutely adore, if it's your favorite book in the entire world, it means no offense. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or say that my taste is superior. I have my favorites and I want to have a bookcase full of favorites. And I'm going to basically be unhauling a decent amount of the rest. Maybe I should start by taking off all of my knickknacks, because I have a lot of them, and I can already see in the viewfinder that it looks super crowded. It's just plants and knacks. So I think I'm going to start by doing that. See, like, I have dried flowers on my bookshelf just because I like dried flowers, but I don't feel like I'm displaying them properly. I don't feel like this is the right way to do it. It just looks like trash. While I was putting my stuff away, I found more books. So I'm going to have to declutter all of those as well. Let's just go shelf by shelf and organize. This top shelf is like my nice edition of books and short story collections and poetry. It's got like some really nice anthologies. I have William Shakespeare and a couple of other big collections, and I love these covers. I think they're so pretty and they look so nice. The paper is really thin and really just, it feels good, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually read them because they're just so thick and heavy, and I definitely cannot read them in bed without risking breaking my nose. But I don't think I can part with them because they were a bit of an investment. So they're gonna stay here looking pretty. This one was my grandfather's and it's completely tattered. It's coming apart, but oh, I can't get rid of it. I don't know how to bookbind, but maybe I need to learn, or I need to hire someone to repair this edition because there's illustrations. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can find one. There's these like fully colorized illustrations in the book and it's just so gorgeous. This one's from As You Like It. See, that's the magic of books, is you kind of just get lost in it. Oh my god. Midsummer Night's Dream? Are you kidding me? Ugh, I can never get rid of this. I just want to repair it so badly. And then I actually have one other edition of Shakespeare, which I think that of all of my different editions, this is the most manageable when it comes to reading because it's lighter and it's secondhand. So I don't know, I can maybe discover someone else's marginalia in it. There are illustrations in this book, but they're black and white. I love Shakespeare so much. It was so fun to study Shakespeare when I was in university. Honestly, this top shelf is like my favorite books. I don't think I can get rid of any of them. Oh, I love these Penguin Deluxe editions of classic novels. Oh my god. Dracula, like look at how beautiful that is. Oh, with one of his wives on the back. So pretty. And the inside covers are just gorgeous too. Like, it's got bats. It's freaking bats. And then I've got Wuthering Heights, which, believe it or not, I have yet to read. So that's something I need to do desperately. And I wanted to forever. I loved Jane Eyre when I was in school. I wrote a bunch of papers on this book. Not this direct edition, but oh my god, is this edition just gorgeous. Look at little Jane. She's so cute. I just cannot get over how cute these illustrations are. They're so beautiful. So absolutely, I need to keep these. My second shelf is now where we get into my fiction, and it's all uppitized by author's last name. And then it is chronological by date of publication. So that way if there's any series, they're going to be together. Although maybe I would put a prologue before the other books. But otherwise, like in general, they're in order. This cover is so pretty. I need to read this. Okay, my James Baldwin. So I have one edition of If Beale Street Could Talk, so I'm keeping that one. This one, probably my least favorite of his fiction that I have on my shelf so far, but still like a 4-star read, still amazing. I have 2 copies of Giovanni's Room and 2 copies of Another Country. Tell me why. Well, I will tell you why. Because these are books that I rate 5 stars. And I don't think you'll be able to tell very well on camera, but this is like a velvety cover edition. And I don't like these as much because I find that they leave like fingerprints on the cover. This one is more of like a papery edition, and I prefer that texture instead. But here's the thing, okay? This is like my favorite book ever. And I've annotated it. It's not like the most noticeably annotated, so I might be able to get rid of it actually and maybe donate it. Oh, that's kind of sad. I thought that I had transferred my annotations over because that's what I do when I really love a book and I get a different edition. I know it's like such a time sink and it probably sounds crazy to some people, but I will diligently go through and transfer my annotations over so that way I could have them forever. But I don't think I've done that yet, so maybe that's what I need to do for Giovanni's Room, and then I can get rid of this copy. Maybe this cover matches Giovanni's Room and If Beale Street Could Talk versus this one. It matches a different publication, but I just prefer the other one just with the lines. It looks very sharp. Yeah, this book is so good too, and I'm pretty sure yeah, I annotated it and I wrote a little bit more in the margins of this one. If you've not read any of James Baldwin, do yourself a favor and go to your local library and pick one of his books up. Personally, I recommend Giovanni's Room because it's short. It's just a really heartbreaking story about 2 men who are in 1950s Paris, it says, and basically one of them is struggling with his sexuality. He is his own worst enemy, and that is all that I will say. I love this book. I feel like this book was really popular when it first came out, which is like when I purchased it in 2020. Damn, that was so long ago. I think I gave it like 3 stars, and it's not like a bad book, it's just one that I didn't particularly love. So honestly, I might give this one away because I don't think I need it. It doesn't really like but it's by an author of color, and I want to make sure that I have enough people. I want to have like a very diverse group of, okay, you know what, you've got 5 editions of James Baldwin, you're fine. Okay, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. Okay, this one I need to read. I don't know why I haven't yet. Oh my god, I'm not a science fiction girly, I'm not a fantasy girly, but holy crap, I love Parable of the Sower. If you liked the Hunger Games or the Divergent series when you were a teenager and you want something that's similarly as intense but a little bit more grown up, this is the book for you. It's so good. It's all about economic, governmental, global collapse due to climate change in the early 2020s, it says. This was written a while ago. It's a fun, like, exciting story, but it does actually bring you along on quite a journey. And Parable of the Talents I also enjoyed. I think it was probably like 5 stars, 4 stars for me, so I'm keeping those. Oh my god, this one I heard so many good things about, and it was given to me by a friend, and I'm gonna have to get to it. So I want to read this one. I also want to read Blackout. I think this is YA technically, but it's a collection of short stories. I'm kind of like curious about it. I don't think I'm gonna like it that much, but I want to give it a shot. I just want to like kind of diversify my reading if possible, see if I can find an author that I like within this collection, and then go from there. Maybe I'll gain something out of it. If not, that's okay too. Oh, and I think it's also worth mentioning, if you're wondering why one collection of short stories is on my fiction shelf versus on my other shelf over here, I'm gonna be honest, the main reason that I put this together was because I wanted to keep my Carver together, which, oh my god, I didn't even talk about my Carver. I love Raymond Carver so much, but he has poetry in here as well as short story collections, and I want to keep them all together without breaking them up. So I have anthologies or short story collections from the same author, not from a diverse group, versus on my fiction shelf I have diverse groups. Oh my god, Rachel Cusk has really sexy covers, and I want to read at least one of them. I think I might need to get rid of this because this one was not that good, but this one is very good. So if I had to choose between the two of them, I would definitely choose this one. Joan Didion, need to keep. Oh my god. Play It As It Lays is probably one of my favorite books. It's so good. And then I need to read A Book of Common Prayer. I did not like this. I was disappointed by this one. It's written in an epistolary format for the most part, and I don't know, I think it's just romance for the sake of romance. I didn't feel any kind of connection to the characters. I wasn't really like that fazed by the plot. Lots of people love it, so I'm glad for those people, but I don't know, it just was not for me. Fitzgerald, I know, whatever, it's a white man. His books are classics, and I really want to reread them, and I went out of my way to get these specific editions because I think that they are sexy. Gone Girl, I liked it a lot. Dark Places, I have not read, but I will. I had this for school, and I got exactly that far into it before I put it down forever. From what I read of it, I remember that it was fine, but I don't think it's one that I'm actually going to pick up and read cover to cover at this point. Howard's End was okay. I think I gave it like 3 stars, and like I had to write about it and it was fine, but it's like this similar kind of thing of just, I did read this one cover to cover, but I have that similar feeling of I'm not gonna discuss it ever again. I think sometimes I feel like, oh, I have to hold on to it because like this is what I earned my degree on or whatever, but I'm not gonna discuss it with friends over coffee unless it's something I love. But this one, yeah, I think I can safely get rid of it. Desperate Characters, okay, very, very good book, but I think it might have gone over my head a little bit when I first read it a couple months ago. So I might want to return to this one, so I'm definitely gonna hold on to it. Okay, let's go on to the next shelf. Oh boy, you can really see the stack of mess over here now. Actually, you know what? These are books that are my copies, and I need to integrate them into my collection, and because I have everything alphabetized, I might as well get started with these, right? Oh, this is an ARC? Oh, from 2017? Who gave me this? So this one I actually lent to my friend. I've read it. I didn't love it though. Okay, so I think what I'm realizing is that one of my biggest issues is getting rid of books that I have not yet read. It's hard for me to let go of something when there's so much untapped potential in it. So, it might be hard. Anything by Neil Gaiman is staying. Although I'm so sad about this because I spilled water on this cover. That is so beautiful, but now it is damaged. The first time I read Stardust was not that long ago, and I've already seen the movie from when I was a kid. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. I actually have it on my shelf over here. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, I love the movie. The book was okay. So this is one of those rare cases where I really sincerely think that the movie was better than the book. I love Neil Gaiman though. Genuinely love him. I love Coraline. I loved Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I need to read the Graveyard Book. Lessons in Chemistry is one that I am very curious about, and I need to read it, so I'm gonna keep it. Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Okay. I read this for university and I actually really liked it, so I'm gonna keep it. I thought it was a really good story and it was really sad. The Kite Runner I need to reread, and then Thousand Splendid Suns I've heard so many good things about. Honestly, if I haven't read it, chances are it's gonna stay, even though I've been told that this book is not that good. I don't like mass markets. Mass markets, if you don't know, are like the little itty bitty books, and what I prefer are the trade books, which are like the bigger, floppier editions. Mass markets are like pocket books essentially, and I don't like them. I think they annoy me. So should I keep James Joyce just to have him on my shelf? Oh, I left myself a little note about maybe my favorites. I don't know. Look at how tiny my handwriting is, by the way. This one's a maybe. This was the one that I read that I really did not care for. I thought this was boring, but I still want to read her other books because I've heard so many good things about this author. I got this from a free little library, and I don't read that much Stephen King, and I know that he's like supposed to be like not supposed to be, I know that he is a really great author. I just haven't read a ton of him. I think I tried when I was in middle school, and I didn't love his voice, to be honest. I really like a stylistic voice. His prose was just very direct and very, I don't know, cut to the chase type of writing, and I want to try it again. And I heard that Misery is good, especially for people who love books. So I think I want to hold on to this, even though it's mass market, just to read it for free, and if I don't like it, I'll pop it back into the little library. This one was good. Did I love it? I don't think so, but it was good enough that I'm gonna keep it. This seems like such a mom author, you know, like she writes mom books. I feel like this is definitely a maybe. Like I picked it up from a little library because I was like, oh, it's exciting, it's free, but I probably don't need it. This one, read it, it was okay. It's got such a weird shaped cover. Like it's like not mass market, but it's not trade. It's like tall and skinny. I think I'm okay to get rid of it. Let's put these new ones in here. 2 shelves down. I think I'm gonna have to get onto the floor for the next one though. I'm gonna tackle both these shelves at the same time, I think. This is the end of my fiction, which it's crazy because I feel like I have so many books, but I don't actually have that many, so I obviously need to go buy more. I feel like I have so much clutter that it just feels like a lot and it's overwhelming, but this is gonna make me feel a lot better. My friend and I said that we were gonna buddy read this one together, and I let her down. I didn't end up reading it, and it's been like a year, so I need to get on that. Emma, I'm sorry. I'm gonna sit on my butt. I'm sorry that it's gonna be an awkward angle. Convenience Store Woman. I heard so many good things about it when it was popular a couple years ago. Still have not read it. Open Water is so good. If you haven't read Open Water, what are you doing with your life? It's written in this beautiful, beautiful prose. I mean, I've annotated this one and lent it to friends. Oh, this book is so good. If you've ever had a crush on a friend, and if you've ever been in love, oh, it's so good. It's so heartbreaking. It's so beautiful, and then it's also tackling race and masculinity, and just, oh, it's so lyrical and so precisely written, and I love Caleb Azuma Nelson's writing. And I know that he has another book that came out recently. I think it's called Small Worlds. I heard it's not as good as Open Water, which, I mean, big shoes to fill. Joyce Carol Oates, I absolutely need to read as well. Let me get this stuff out of the way. I read this one. I remember liking the first story pretty well, and there were a couple that were really, really good, but I don't know, I wasn't like completely impressed by the entire collection. I'm gonna keep it. I need to read more Joyce Carol Oates, and maybe I'll be able to call this one once I find other ones that I like a lot better. But for now, it's gonna stay in my collection because I need to look like I'm well read, okay? I need to ask my friend what she thought about this one, so for now it's gonna stay on my shelf. Next year for sure, it's another one that I love, probably a similar amount to Open Water. This book is so good. It's like so heartbreaking. Oh, I've annotated this one. Oh yeah, ooh yeah, baby, this one's very good. I love the characterizations in this book. I love the way that the characters are written to be so real and so flawed, and this author plays around with prose in some really interesting ways as well. Like, this is so beautiful. Okay, this might sound very pretentious just out of context, but like, this book is genuinely so good. He doesn't want to kiss her. He wants what comes after the kissing and the undressing and the confiding, after the discovery and the familiarity and the gradual absence of kissing. He wants the intimacy of friends who used to be lovers. I'm never ever getting rid of this. This is so good. Such a Fun Age was interesting. I didn't dislike it. I didn't think it was great. I thought the ending was a little bit predictable, but I think it was entertaining, and it's one that I'm happy to keep on my shelf. This is actually like a really good grouping of books because I have something to say about all of these. Taylor Jenkins Reid and I have beef. Okay, I don't like her twists. I think that they're overdone. I don't like her formula for, I mean, I've only read Daisy Jones and The Seven Husbands, and I think that she follows a very similar pattern to both of them. I prefer Daisy Jones over Seven Husbands. Seven Husbands was still fun. I still like it. I'm still gonna keep it because I think that Taylor Jenkins Reid is a talented author and she does a good job of writing, but I'm very annoyed by certain parts of this book. If We Are Villains, it was just very fun. I really enjoyed reading it. Just like experience the little like teehee Shakespeare University, very academic, dark academia like vibes are just fun. And then, oh my god, My Dark Vanessa made me cry. I read this in 2 days. I know some people didn't like it. That's okay. You don't have to like it. But I loved it. I thought it was so heartbreaking. Minor spoiler alert, in both life and in this particular book, there are no perfect victims. Okay? So good. I am never getting rid of my Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark collection. With the original illustrations, I'll have you know. These books are ones that we carried in my elementary school library, and I went and I sat on the floor and I read these every single day. I think that the librarians were a little bit worried about me, but hey, I turned out okay. This one was okay, but I think I like it enough to maybe keep it on my shelves for a little bit longer. Love this book. You need to read this one. This one's so good. It's so unhinged. I love it. This is violent, it's gory, it's just, ooh, it's so good. Same thing with Any Man. Oh my god, this is like trigger warning all over it, but it's so good. It's so well written. That's that for that. On this shelf here, I have that randomness. Like, I don't have a ton of storage in my apartment, so when it comes to things like this, I don't have space for my markers and like my sketchbooks and all of my little things. So I do think I need to keep them on my bookcase, but I need to minimize the amount of stuff I have. So this I'm keeping because this was money. I'm just gonna put it aside for now. Oh, I need to put these back. I have a bunch of notebooks that are like really embarrassing, very Tumblr girl, but it was like 3 for $10 or something like that, and I was like, I'm gonna be so cool when I go to university and when I go to high school, and I'm gonna have like the coolest notebooks. I think I did use some of this when I used this like as a dream journal or something. This is not a good way to store items, by the way. I think this is my degree. This shelf has been a waste of space. This is a ridiculous shelf. I had these like shoe pencil cases that were really popular back in the day. Tarot card, art freebies, incense stick, Japanese language texts. Oh, they smell like incense now. Oh my god, they're so strong. These are from my dad, and I'm trying to learn Japanese, so I think I should actually start reading these. I have all of these little folders here, and they're so useful, but like, I just dumped them here and then forgot about them. Oh my god, look at this Rilakkuma one. So cute. And then I've got like art supplies, like sketchbooks and stuff. So I need to keep all of this stuff. I'm putting it on the floor to free this up for books, but my ideal is to have only notebooks on like these bottom shelves. Miffy Japanese practice cards, bookends. These are just notebooks, so I need to keep those. Oh my god, god, I got this in Japan. I loved doing nails and I loved to just look at the photos. Oh my gosh, look at these. Oh my god. I love this series so much. Oh my god, this is my childhood. This defines me so well. It is two twin girls, like they were basically not switched at birth but separated at birth. One of them's like a goth vampire, the other one's a cheerleader human, and they meet again after the cheerleader moves to town and she learns about this world of vampires and goths, and it's like they're called bats and bunnies, I think, and it's like it's so fun. It's just so gimmicky and so cute and so very me. Like it just fits my cute side as well as my creepy side, so I love this series so much. I absolutely need to keep them. Honestly, this shelf is not going to be that interesting. It's just like books, notebooks, sketchbooks and stuff. I think I might actually go through this off camera because I have probably a decent amount of books that are used in here and I'm gonna need to like cull this down as much as possible, so I might do that off camera. Oopsie, sorry. I think I'm just gonna go through my old textbooks. So some of these I want to keep. They're just like chunky books that I want to keep at the bottom because they weigh a ton. So like my Sherlock Holmes, my Chicago Manual of Style, these are books that I grew up reading, which is maybe weird considering this, but I was like obsessed about learning about the different types of dashes. So anyway, The Art of the Short Story, gonna keep it. A Writer's Time, I'm gonna keep it. Backwards and Forwards, yes. Hero, yes. Anything that's about writing is something I'm still interested in, so I'm gonna keep it. Shakespeare, I'm gonna keep. Jack Shepherd, I don't care about. You can go. The Moonstone, I think I liked it. I wrote essays on The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. It's basically just, it's the original detective series and it's very good, but I will not read it again, especially not in that book. Sign of the Four, it's very similar to The Moonstone. These anthology books, I don't care about them. I am never ever gonna read these for fun. And I am mad that I even paid the amount of money that I did on these freaking textbooks. This came from Amazon with a $20 bill sticking out of it because someone used it as a bookmark, and as you can see it's really tattered up, and Amazon tried to charge me for this rental book and I told them, hello, that was not me that wrote all over your book and who like destroyed it. And they said, okay, well then you can keep it. So I got to keep this book, and it actually came in very handy as, I don't know, a source for a couple of different essays that I wrote. So I'm gonna keep it because I liked it. And I said I'm gonna keep the Edmund Spenser as well. This bookshelf is solely books that I am borrowing from my friends, and that sounds really bad. I think I just need to read through all of this because this is ridiculous. I should not have to have an entire shelf on my bookcase dedicated to books from other people. I can tell you for a fact that I'm not getting rid of anything here. I have a couple of hidden graphic novels. I have, let's see, I have Fangs, which I really want to read because it looks super cute. And then I have this book by someone who worked on BoJack Horseman. And as you can see, I have Death Note, Nana, Paradise Kiss, and Scott Pilgrim, and those are my only manga / graphic novels that I have on my shelf currently. And personally, I don't think that that's enough. I would love to expand my manga collection and graphic novel collection, so I would like some space for this to grow. So this is my games and DVD shelf. I could maybe put these on my TV stand, but I think that that would look really cluttered, so I do like having them in my bookcase. I do think though that I'm gonna have to move them down so that they're not taking up such prime real estate. Okay, so this is my nonfiction shelf. There is still room on it, so I'm not too worried about getting rid of a ton. Up top has my Sarah Dessen, which Sarah Dessen was like my favorite author when I was a kid. Aside from my Sarah Dessen though, this entire shelf is all ARCs, stands for Advanced Reading Copy. Basically, publishers will send books to different like reviewers or booksellers, or I don't know, just people who can promote the book. I have a lot of ARCs because they're free. So whenever I see an ARC and it's free, I'm like, oh yes please, I will take that. What is it? Is it a World War II nonfiction? Oh perfect, sounds great. I don't need all those ARCs. You're not allowed to sell an ARC, but I have no problems dropping them off in like a free little library and kind of spreading them throughout the community. I think that that's completely harmless. And then when it comes to ARCs, I don't think that they need to be up here and like super visible. I think the ARCs actually can live farther down. So I'm gonna have to do some rearranging, but for now I'm just gonna pop you up and I'm gonna just like sort through this really quickly. First of all, why do I have 2 copies of 9 Lives? Why? I just finished reading Nightcrawling. I didn't love it. I'm sorry to say that. I thought it was okay, but like, I don't know, a lot of people seem to really love it, and it just like did not tickle my fancy. Someone's gonna be really happy to see this in a little library. I haven't read Lisa Unger, but my friend told me to read her, so I need to keep it. I did want to read this one. I read this one, was not a fan. This just doesn't appeal to me. Oh my god, I forgot I had this ARC. I liked this one. I didn't like it as much as normal people, but this one I'm definitely keeping. The X-Hex is another one that I read as an ARC, and I also liked this one. I thought the cover was pretty, but I don't think I'm interested. I have like no interest in reading him outside of the fact that this is free, so I feel like I should take this opportunity to at least read through the first couple pages and see how I feel about it. So next, I'm just gonna go through this merch bag of stuff from HarperCollins from a couple months ago that I don't even remember what's in here. Starting with this book by Emma Donoghue. She signed it for me, which is very sweet. But have I read this book? No. But I guess I'll put it on my shelf and like give it a chance. Oh my god, okay, this one I absolutely want to read. This isn't an ARC, this is just like straight up a copy that they gave me. I heard mixed reviews about, but I want to keep Yellowface. Anna O came out earlier this year or last year, and I heard that it was meh. Okay, this one I might give a chance to. I don't know. So this is a memoir, and I don't usually care about memoirs, but it seems like it's about a family that brainwashed their children, didn't give them any kind of like formal education or anything. So I think that what I really want to do right now is just honestly remove everything off my shelves, give them a really good dusting, and then put everything right back on. So it's going to be just like a tedious process, but what I want to do before the day is over is just like put my knickknacks back on and like style my bookcase the way that I want it to be styled. I just want like most of this to be done and at least have my bookcase set for the evening, and then the stuff that's on the floor can be dealt with tomorrow if need be. Looking at this now, I think that I'm probably going to need another shelf just for poetry as soon as I start to collect more, but it's my goal to read more poetry than I do presently because I love poetry. I just find it very intimidating to get into. I think for now, I like this orientation with nonfiction up here, manga here, games here, and then it's like ARCs, borrowed books, textbooks, and kids books at the bottom, because it kind of goes like more insignificant towards the bottom, and then on top is like the prettier editions, like perfectly eye level. I think looks great. Like this is amazing, and then up here looks good too, and then yeah, I think that's gonna work out okay. I need to get some space back by either going through more ARCs and getting rid of them, or getting rid of some of my borrowed books, and I just can't do either one of those things right now, but until I actually read some of these. So I'm gonna make it a mission to read through as many of the borrowed books as I possibly can. So ignoring the mess on the floor, ask me how I did that. That looks amazing. This cubby is empty currently because I know myself, and I am definitely going to accumulate way more fiction than I will any other category. So an empty shelf is good news for me. So I'm gonna stretch out my fiction currently, and I think it's just time to put some of my junk back on there. For putting plants next to books, but I love both plants and books. I also love skulls, so I like to decorate in a way that makes me feel really happy. I have acquired more books. Haunting of Hill House, which is a classic that I absolutely need to have on my shelf, and I don't know why I don't already. And then I've got, I'm borrowing Le Petit Prince from a friend, and so I'm really excited to read it in French because I've never read it in French before, and I am trying to improve my language. And then I've got, I think these are all ARCs, maybe not this one, The Power. No, this one's just a regular book that I was given, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I have this one. And then these four are ARCs. They're not actually advanced because they're from friends, but I have Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, which is the sequel to Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. And I have yet to read this, but I have a friend who gave it some glowing reviews. And then I have this book called Groupies, which I think could be really fun to read. And I have The Fake by Zoe Whittle. I read, what book is it called? The Spectacular by this author, and I really didn't like it that much, but I've heard good things about her other works, and so this was available freely, so I just picked it up because I decided that if I'm going to give her a shot again, I will do it without spending my money, because I don't know, I'm unconvinced on her as an author that I want to purchase and keep on the shelves. She's one that I would probably declutter if I still had her. Actually, I did declutter her when I had The Spectacular. And then I got Velvet Was the Night. I liked Mexican Gothic a lot. I thought it wasn't anything like new, but I liked the writing style. It gave like the very classic horror vibes, and I'm really curious to delve deeper into her work. And Silvia Moreno Garcia has like the best titles. She's got Mexican Gothic, Velvet Was the Night, now she's got, what's it called? Silver Nitrate. It like, those titles are so cool. I'm gonna add these to my bookcase, and I think I'm gonna try and go through and declutter some more of my books, because also, oh yes, I forgot to mention, I also recently purchased a couple more manga, which means that even though I left room on my fiction shelves, I need more room on my manga shelves because they are full. So I bought Maid-sama volume 1 and 2 of like the combined versions, so it's volumes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in 2 volumes, if that makes sense. This manga is so cute. I've watched the anime multiple times ever since I was like a teenager, and I like adore these characters. They're just adorable, and decided that I needed to own them. So they're now on my shelf and I need to fit them in somehow, in some way. I don't really have a ton of nonfiction, and I don't really accumulate nonfiction that quickly, so it's good where it is, and I don't really want to get rid of much of what I have, except for maybe I can get rid of Come As You Are. I started annotating it while I was reading, because when it comes to like scientific books, informative books, I find it's easier for me to absorb the info as I'm taking notes. But this book was not valuable to me, and I feel really bad saying that, because I know that this book has helped a lot of different people. It felt a little bit too fluffy, and it felt a little bit too much like I was being talked down to in some senses. Like, she just kept reassuring me that I was normal, and I was like, I know. Does that make sense? Anyway, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. I really highly recommend this book. It's so good, and I've annotated the crap out of it. I don't think a lot of people talk about these kinds of books, because obviously they're not going to be as popular as the fun romances and the fun fiction novels that we read, but genuinely this is such a good, powerful nonfiction book, and it's so important. Another book that I like that's similar to that one, but a little bit maybe less depressing, is The Gift of Fear. I guess I could probably get rid of my breakfast journal. I just don't think that at this point in time this is the right outlet for me. This one was okay. There were some really good parts to it though, and I love Animal by the same author. I think I talked about it before. This one just felt a little bit too mishmash, which makes sense because it's 3 narratives in one, but I didn't feel like they had a common theme, or at least a strong enough theme to tie them all together. So I'm gonna hang on to it, simply because when I have an author that I like this much, I kind of want to keep their other works around, just so I have something to compare it to. And I don't know, just in case, like, who knows, this might be one of my favorite authors, because I also have Ghost Lover, which I have yet to read by her. I think it's cool if she does end up being one of my favorite authors to just have like a full set, if that makes sense. This is a book unhauling video, so I don't really want to go through my video games and DVDs and stuff, but I do know that I want to extend my manga shelf downwards. Honestly, like, as a temporary solution, just so I can shelve Maid-sama, I might move this. I might actually just move my Scott Pilgrim. I think I'm gonna display this next to my video games. Put Maid-sama over here next to Death Note and Nana, which are not very comparable series at all. I think what I just really want to finalize is my planters. Okay, so this is how my bookcase is looking now. I really like it. I think it looks a lot cleaner than it did. On the floor here we have the things that I'm getting rid of. For the most part, I still need to go through some of these notebooks that had some writing in them, but I've got some fiction, some textbooks, some nonfiction, notebooks, and arcs. I feel like this is so much cleaner looking. I really like even the small detail of switching out the plant pots, aside from this guy up here, to be darker. It just feels less cluttered. This project has been a long time coming. It's honestly been weighing on my mind pretty heavily. It's been such a distraction to have my bookcases just overflowing with stuff that I don't need on them. So this end result is making me immensely happy. Thank you so much for watching and for making it all the way through the video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you saw any books that really appealed to you or that you've read and really enjoyed, let me know. I'm probably going to continue to work on my bookcase for a little while longer. I'm going to try and fiddle with it just until it feels more like me, probably until the end of time. So stay tuned. I will likely upload more videos about books, about my bookshelf, about my home decor, and about what I'm reading, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much for watching and waiting until the end of the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!